If you don't know me, my name is Anuj, and on this channel, I try to spread the awareness on discrimination faced by high skilled workers based on their country of birth, and talk about different solutions, right? And one of the things we are working on is that forming this organization, which I was calling the master plan to end the country of birth discrimination. So, on this episode of Unfiltered Immigration, we're going to talk about the name, right? The name. And if you are just here to know that what is the name of the organization, I'll just tell you right now. The name of the organization is Fair America. Fair America. And in this episode, we're going to talk about first in the beginning, we're going to start with the Q&A. One question I got, which you might have, if you have joined earlier, you saw that question, right? So question and answer on that particular questions, but then we're going to talk about why this name and if why we haven't revealed this name earlier, and then the interesting story of a domain negotiation, like the website domain, so that if you want to know what domains we're gonna use for our organization, then that you stick around for that story. It's interesting. Anyway, so the wanted to start with the question I got recently. Right, that the question was, someone asked that Indian Prime Minister is here in USA. So if you know that, I think the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is still in USA. By any chance, let lobby team can contact Indian government to raise our backlog issue to USA government, right? So just on that, right, that the question is that can the lobby team can reach out to the Indian government, but I'm not sure what they are talking about. But as far as I know, there isn't a lobby or advocacy group out there who is active and they are ready to implement our ideas on demand, right? That doesn't exist, and even if it does, I am not aware about that. So right now, if we want to do something like that, right, then we have to organize this kind of things on our own. So like, let's say if someone wants to do this, then they need to organize this thing. They might have to post it on the Twitter that, hey, the Prime Minister is coming to New York, we should go there and try to raise our issue there, and maybe advocate so they can like talk to USA government, right? That something we have to plan on our own, market for, do the marketing on our own. And then if you do that, there might be, speaking from experience, that there might be 10 people who would say that, hey, I would this is, I can, like, I would love to join, right? But when you actually do it, it's only 3-4 people will show up, right? So that's the situation we are in right now. And if you are interested in doing something like that, definitely do it, right? Everyone should try to organize this, and that's what I did with 50 states, right? That I wanted people to get motivated and do this kind of things on their own, which I recently did as well, right? Recently means like in this week that we went, not this week, last Thursday and Friday. So we group of people, we got together and went to this AAUC summit, which is like an organization of different Asian organization who are part of that organization, and there was a big summit happening. So we got together, at least 4 of us, and went and advocated for these 2 bills which are in the Congress as much as we can, right? That personally I couldn't go to White House, but there were like people who went to White House and briefed the White House on this issue. Then as we did the panel where we educated a lot of the people on the issue. Then we went to all the different congressional offices as well and try to advocate as much as we can on this issue. But the thing is that we have to do this on our own, right? So getting back to that question, that can we go and advocate with the Prime Minister of India? And the answer is yes, but we have to do it on your own. But that's why I created, right? Because doing on our own is so challenging, and we have a limited time, and we are not skilled in that area to get this kind of appointment, right? That we have to communicate a lot with different people if we really want to get together and meet with actual people who are in charge. So that's what we are trying to do with this organization, that okay, if we want to plant something like that, then we just have to tell them that, hey, we want that, and then there will be people who will be working, who are coordinating all these things, that okay, the prime minister is coming, so how we can get a meeting with maybe prime minister, or maybe his like chief of staff, or maybe whoever is their advisor, right? So they will be working, and they are skilled in that kind of thing. So the lot of the organization will be done by them, a lot of the marketing will be done by them. So all we have to do is that we have to show up. And I guess that right now, because there is a lot of uncertainty, a lot of people might not want to join, right? Because all we are doing is that going there and maybe protesting outside. But if there is actual meeting we have got with the prime minister or their staff, someone from their staff, then there will be a lot of people would be willing to come and join, right? And if there is a meeting with the prime minister, maybe even if it is just 1 minute, let's say if we are meeting prime minister, then 50 people getting 50 or more people, that would be very easy, right? So that's what we are working on. So we have people who can organize stuff on our request, and we just then have to show up, right? So then, yeah, that's this plan we are working on, which is making progress. But the more people join, the sooner we would be act, right? Right now, we have the fundraiser. We are still sort of that goal. So if you can like contribute with the best of your ability and tell other peoples to contribute, right? That's very important, that the other people join and be part of that. Then it would be we would be able to do things faster, because right now all the decision we are making, we have to think a lot, that we have a very limited budget, right? And on that limited budget, we have to get this organization up and running, and that slows down a lot of the things, right? So if you are if you can contribute, and if you can't, like, then there are like a lot of the people who you can talk to, right? That Prime Minister Narendra Modi is very hard to reach. It's outside of our circle of influence. Maybe it's yours, but it's definitely mine, outside of circle of influence. But your friends, family, colleagues, these are the people who you can easily pick up the phone and talk to and convince them to join, right? So if you haven't done that, yeah, please try to do as much as we can while we are busy having this organization up and running. All right, getting back to the name, the why Fair America, why I picked the name Fair America, right? That, and if you have been following my 50 states journey, and if you ask anyone that if Anuj is founding an organization, what its name gonna be, and the most obvious guess people will tell you is that remove country cap, right? But that's the main goal of that was my major goal, and my goal with this organization, goal as a whole, would be laser focused on that, right? As I said in the master plan, that remove the country cap and clear the existing backlog, right? But as if we are starting an organization, my goal was that okay, there is a lot of work goes into forming an organization, and we don't want to form an organization which is like, once the issue is solved, then okay, we are done after we did all this work, right? That I wanted an organization which stays there even after our issue is resolved. The Fair America kind of, I was thinking about this name, and that name represents well. is that our mission is to make America fair by ending the discrimination faced by high skilled workers based on their country of birth, and then end the exploitation high skilled immigrants face in the America, right? So that thing, it's not new for us, it's a major issue, but that thing, like the exploitation of immigrants, has been going on since the beginning of America, right? That we know about slavery and all that, whether it was like forced immigration or it is like immigration done by attraction. The exploitation has been always there, right? And even though after our issue is solved, it's gonna be there, right? So this organization will make sure that even after our issue is resolved, it stays there, and it keep making immigration fair for the immigrants, that they are not exploited. So like, we are not promoting for more immigration, we are not promoting for less immigration. What we are promoting is for fair immigration. So that represents that, and it's really about making fair America, right? That if the immigrants, their rights are respected and we stop them from exploitation, then it's about making America fair. But when the America is fair, it's fair world, right? That right now America is still kind of the leader of the free world. But if this issue is not solved, then there is a number two on that line, and that no one wants to see that, right? That if that happens, that America is no longer the leader of the free world, then the world would be less fair, right? So that was the goal, and that was we are thinking about. But the other reason is that, it's very easy to support when you hear that name, right? That there are, give you kind of like a different example, is a certain occupation, when you hear them, that okay, if someone tells you that, hey, I am a landlord, or someone tells you, hey, I am a lawyer, the immediate thing uh, comes to the people mind that they might be evil, right? And that's not always the case, but that's the general perspective people have. Meanwhile, someone says that they are teacher or they are nurse, then the general perspective of people is like, okay, they must be very caring and nice people, right? And that's not always the case, but it's just even with hearing something like occupation, people forms their opinion, right? So the fair America is that as soon as you hear it, it's very easy to remember, but also it's very hard to be against it, right? That is, people would have to say that, hey, I'm against fair America. It's not possible to say that, right? So so those were things we kept in mind, that okay, it's very easy to remember and it's hard to be against, and all the other things, right? That it represents the things we are working on, right? So again, our mission would be like making immigration fair, and we gonna focus on one issue at a time, right? So because it's fair America and we are stopping immigrants from exploitation, skilled immigrants from exploitation, doesn't mean that we're gonna start focusing on other things right now. Our we're gonna be laser focused on one issue at a time. Again, and then this next question is that why I didn't reveal this name earlier, and that goes with all the other things. It's not just about the name, right? All the other things we are not revealing about the organization yet. It's because we are keeping this in mind, that we want to solve this issue as fast as possible, and we are respecting the mission to make it as simple, swift, and fast as possible to get these results. And for that, there are some decisions needs to be made, that if we, there are always pros and cons, right? So this name I had in mind even when I was traveling at the I was doing my campaign. I already had this name in mind, that if I ever start an organization, it's gonna be Fair America, because that name makes sense. But while I said the master plan, why I didn't reveal the name right away, right? Because I was kind of like pretty sure that this is the name I'm gonna pick. The reason why that was there, it's because you have to think, like any decision, you have to think a lot, right? That, like, let's say, that name I had in mind, but we didn't know that which state we gonna register the nonprofit in. Then in that state, is that name taken? We don't know. We have to figure it out. If I reveal the name earlier, then someone might go and take that domain probably. That and that thing happens. So domain, or probably like Twitter handle or Instagram handle, and we all have to. There are like bunch of things we have to think about, right? That all the social media we want to be on, are those handles available? If not, the exit handle, are the close handles available? If the domains we want, are that available or not, right? So those things, all those things we were able to secure. Now our name is secured as an organization, our domain is secured, the handles are secured, right? So then now we can reveal it, right? Earlier, if I did it, then we might have to like pay a lot of money for domain and that kind of things, right? So it's same with all this organization. Whatever we are not revealing, it's because there are kind of like we want to tell as much as we can, but then some things if we tell earlier, then negative consequences, and we want to move fast, right? So trying to avoid that. So yeah, that's the name of the organization. Nice organization name. Thanks. Yeah. Let me know in the comments if you like the name or not. But yeah, then what's the domain we gonna have, right? What's the name of our website is going to be? Now, I had this name in mind, but the only issue was that the domain I wanted to have, right, the Fair America, then the obvious domain is fairamerica.org, but that domain was already taken from the get-go. And then I was thinking about any other organization name, but there wasn't any other organization name which was like sounding as good as this one. So then I got a domain called fair-america.org. And if you don't know hyphen, it's like fair-america.org, right? Fair-america.org or fair-america.org. So that domain is like pretty close to our name, right? But still, it wasn't sounding good. But then I was like, okay, it's close enough. There was like, if you go to GoDaddy, and they offer the service of domain brokerage service, right? That one thing, that fairamerica.org was taken, but no one was using it. There isn't a site which is active with that name. I could involve the domain broker service, but I was like, okay, we have very limited budget. We don't want to involve that, right? So I was kind of gonna go with fair-america.org. But then when I contacted different website builders, website designers, and then picked one, and they asked that what is our domain gonna be, and I said that fair-america, and they are like, oh, it's too bad the hyphen is there. And I immediately know that, yeah, this is the thing everyone is gonna think about, right? And they are like, okay, if when you get big, you might want to contact them and buy that domain. But I was like, okay, if once we are operational and if we are big, then they don't want to sell it for cheap, right? So even through this resistance, I was like, okay, at least we should try. We should try that, how much they want to sell it for, right? So anyways, then I went, I hired that domain broker, right, from GoDaddy, and that's $120 just to involve them in this process. So yeah, we hired them, and then told them that, hey, we want fairamerica.org. they came out with some preliminary information that someone owns this domain that we know, right? But they had this domain for 22 years. So they have been renewing for 22 years, right? Domain you have to renew every year. So think about it, like they have been like having this domain since 2002. Not a lot of companies where like it wasn't common to buy just domain at that time, right? So but they had it for 22 years, so I was like, okay, there is no way they're gonna sell us this domain for cheap. And we don't have much budget, so I was like, okay, we might be willing to pay and up to $200, right? But we didn't get any reply with the $200 offer. And then they were like, okay, how much the maximum we want to give, right? The domain broker was, I was like, okay, let's maybe 500. So I told them, okay, maybe 500 will get it, because we want this brand to be as easy as people can spell it out or remember, or right. So I told them, okay, $500 maybe up to. So then we finally got a reply from them that, okay, we have from the owner of that domain that, okay, fairamerica.org, we would be able to sell it, but then we also own fairamerica.net. And if we are selling fairamerica.org, then we don't have any need for fairamerica.net. So we will be willing to sell both of this domain for $800. That's not a lot of money, but a lot of money in terms of the budget we are working with. But then at that time, we I had to make this decision, right? That okay, either we pay $800 now, or we call ourselves fair-america.org for rest of our lives, right? Because if we don't buy it now, then once organization is operational, they will raise the price. And even the lot of the initial video or whatever we make, right, that would be like we will make those with the website fair-america in the video. So even if we able to buy it later, then that would have to change or that would stay there. Right? So I had to make a decision that okay, either we pay $800 now, or call ourselves fair-america.org. And then I made a decision, and we were able to get the domain, right? So fair-america.org is gonna be our domain, and overall that costed us $1,100. Now you might think that okay, that's a lot of price. It's not a lot, but with our budget I agree that it's a lot of price. But if you think about it, or if you just go to godaddy.com and look up fairamerica.com right now, go to godaddy and look up fairamerica.com. That domain is listed for $20,000. So that domain is available, but that is listed for $20,000. So you know that that name is a premium, as they call it, premium domain. So we were able to get it for 1100 because of the domain brokerage service and all that, right? But that I think that it's a good deal, because now anyone, if you go and meet anyone that okay, fairamerica.org, it's very easy to remember. But also now that fairamerica.com is very bigger, like expensive domain, no one is gonna take it. And even if someone takes it, that business needs to be doing good, so we will get a lot of branding for free. But right, so but anyways, this is about creating a brand, right? That this is the organization which is gonna represent million high skilled workers who are probably all making more than six figures, right? So then it needs to reflect that, and I hope this name and this domain we got reflects that as well. We now also have, so website is fairamerica.org, and we also have the handles, which I'll share the screen probably later, because if I share the screen the sound is gone. But yeah, those handles are there, already active I mean that the accounts are created. We would not gonna post it anything on there until we start operating as an organization. But I will leave that screen here if anyone wants to check out, and maybe go and subscribe there now. But otherwise, yeah, post it in the comments if you think that you like the name or not. You think that we paid a lot of money to get the domain? Was it worth it or not? Yeah, would love to hear your thoughts. I don't see a lot of comments, and as I say usually, that if you don't comment, I don't even know that you are joining online or not, right? So if you comment, that's always encouraging. So let me know. Otherwise, yeah, thanks for joining today. We are making progress, which is great. And this domain, when we got it, I felt so good that this is a that's I didn't had any hope that we would be able to get this domain at a reasonable price. But when I got this domain, I felt so good that okay, this is a good sign for towards this organization, that we might find success, right? That it worked out well. So I am very happy. Hope you guys are too. I will just share the screen quickly. Hopefully it doesn't get rid of the sound, but even if it does, it was thanks for joining, and I keep you guys posted about other progress. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out. You can post it into the Telegram group. You can reach out to me on Twitter, or please share the GoFundMe link, right, to as many people as you can. All right, take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Names, okay, we got finally some good. Name sounds great, and it sounds reasonable to me. Thanks, great work. Will you be partnering? I see a lot of collaboration. Yeah, we will be. Yes, they Area 51 will always supportive, and we will keep having the podcast and live stream with them as much as we can. They are doing great job, and love both those guys. So yeah, we will be collaborating as much as we can. All right, thanks for joining, and I'll talk to you soon. Here is the link of all the social media if you want to go give those accounts a follow.